here we go. Final game of the season. It's coming up, as you said, down in Florida, taking on the Tampa Bay Storm, 7:30 p.m. Saturday. A lot on the line for the Gladiators as they get a chance to perhaps clinch home field for the entire run, including the Arena Bowl. You can hear Doug call it all. He'll be sunny and tanned and ready to go, and 7:30 on Saturday. Doug, good luck to you guys, and then we'll catch up next week and see where things sit as we head into the playoffs for the Gladiators.
Playoff preview next week. How about
that?
That's
it, man. All right, I'm with it. Fired up. Doug, thank you so much for carving out some time. Enjoy your vacation and your game, and we'll catch up with you in a week.
Sounds good. Talk to you soon.
All right. My man, Dougie P. Fresh Dougie P. Doug Plagens. My man. You guys can tweet with him at Doug Plagens, by the way, on Twitter. We're going to take a break. When we come back, some interesting things to talk about. We've got some... Mike Tyson is going to induct Evander Holyfield into the Boxing Hall of Fame. That's a rib, I believe, but I love it. But hey, some good news for the Cavaliers. Olympic select team announced. Deion Waiters is on it. We'll talk about that. So much more. Don't go anywhere. Some news stories, a wrap up, your phone calls. Last chance to get on the line. 216-539-7535. 216-539-7535. Last segment of the Sports Fix coming up next.
You get no love, and I thought you knew it. Fool, you know how we do it.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
Throwing you the best sports commentary in town. The Sports Fix.
It's an addiction. The Sports Fix. We'll be right back.
Indians fans, GV Art and Design has unleashed their new baseball collection. This summer, you've got to have one of the hottest baseball shirts available. GVArtwork.com, bringing it full force to the plate for baseball season this year. Whether you check them out online, GVArtwork.com, use the sales code FIX10, FIX10 to save 10% on your total purchase. Whether you go to their store in Lakewood, check them out at the Cleveland Indians team shops, and so much more. GV Art and Design. It's not just a shirt, it's a statement.
No football? No problem at Harry Buffalo North Olmsted. The excitement never stops. Every day of the week brings a different set of food and amazing drink specials.
And now,
fans, Harry Buffalo North Olmsted is the home for every UFC pay-per-view live on the big screens.
let's get it all!
And let's not forget their mouth-watering trademark, the Bison Burger.
They sure are good.
Nobody does bison like Harry Buffalo. The perfect combination of healthy and delicious.
Hey there, eat up, y'all. You's as good church-going folk. Y'all deserve a little treat.
What are you waiting for? Get to Harry Buffalo, just outside Great Northern Mall today. Harry Buffalo. Join the herd. Portions of the Sports Fix brought to you by Quick Lane at Valley Ford Truck, home of the low price tire guarantee. QuickLane.com/Valley Ford Truck.
Back in 1990, when I joined Herb in the booth, you could say that first game was when I became a lifelong Tribe fan. Something about Cleveland made us want to stay and call it our home, raise our family here. I can promise you one thing, home or on the road, I feel what you folks feel, what you feel every game. Cleveland fans are passionate and pretty vocal. I respect that. This is our team. This is our town. This is a Tribe town.
Hey, this is Alonzo G. You're listening to the Sports Fix.
Welcome back to the, well, there we go. Welcome back to the Sports Fix. Wrapping things up, final segment here on the Sports Fix Radio Network. J-Rock back with you guys. And real quickly, thank you to my guests today. It's been a jam-packed show, as we say. Jeff Gorman from Indians101.com, Dr. Football Bill Chachkes, Doug Plagens from the Gladiators and the Monsters. Thanks to all three of those fine gentlemen for joining us today on their Tuesday edition of the Sports Fix. Tomorrow's going to be a lot of fun, too. Already looking ahead. Tomorrow, we've got Maurice Hall joining us, former Ohio State Buckeye, as he played on the 2002 Ohio State National Championship team. We'll talk to him about time with the Buckeyes, time in the NFL, trying to latch on with the Chargers, and then his second career in sportscasting and acting and all of that. He's got a new movie that he's trying to put together, so looking forward to having Maurice Hall, former Ohio State Buckeye running back, on the show tomorrow. Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan, he'll be with us tomorrow too. Yeah, Charles in the chat room. I know about the Indians. I know what they're doing to us tomorrow, but probably a short-ish show, but I won't say just a completely short show. But yeah, the Indians are doing it to us again, those schedule makers. We'll run into that a few more times before this season's over with. A couple of things I wanted to talk about here. Matter of fact, when I get done here, you guys hear every day talking about Vince McKee and some of his books like Cleveland's Finest. Getting ready to do the Vince McKee interview thing again. I'm going to go meet up with Vince, it's about an hour from now after the show. I'm going to get things wrapped up and head out to meet up with him, working on I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but working on another Cleveland sports book that I am honored that I'm going to sit down. He's going to ask me some questions about, so glad to do that. He's got the Cavaliers book coming out, which, sneaky little devil, I didn't even know I ended up being in that one as well. Didn't even sit down for it. Some stuff that we had discussed previously. I can't wait for the Cavs book to come out. I think it comes out about a month and a half from now. And of course, we're going to have Vince on the show, and we're going to give away a copy of that here for one of you guys listening audience to win a copy of that as well. But looking forward to that. And again, his new book, and I'm sure a lot of people will buy it. Let me just say that. There's your clue right there. I'm sure that by the subject matter alone, it'll probably be the most popular book that Vince has put together. That's all I'm going to say. At least that's what the last 10 days have shown me here in Cleveland. But I can't wait. Looking forward to meeting up with my man Vince. Couple of things that went down. First things first, this actually was early in the show, but I didn't get a chance. It just didn't fit into what we were talking about earlier. The Olympic select team made their announcements, which is, if you remember, a couple of years ago was what Kyrie Irving started with, who he is now working to be on the national men's team. He's been moved up to that level. But Dion Waiters, one of the young NBA players who's been added to the select team, which is the team that works out against the Olympic team to get them ready for their Olympic competition. Hey, that is good for the Cavaliers, good for Dion Waiters there. Just like we said last year or 2 years ago for Kyrie, to be training and in that and playing with those guys. And you know what? Not just the players, but the coaching staff as well. I mean, of course, you got Mike Krzyzewski, and you've got, Thibodeau's there from Chicago. Who else is on the coaching staff over there? Monty Williams, Jim Boeheim is on there, Krzyzewski, Thibodeau. Yeah, so, I mean, you've got a very quality coaching staff. That's somebody that I like to see our young players in, and I think that's a great thing. But, yeah, Dion, one of the guys added to the select team. Who else is there? We got Harrison Barnes, Trey Burke, Jimmy Butler, Tim Hardaway Jr., Doug McDermott, Victor Oladipo, Mason Plumlee, and his brother Miles Plumlee, Marcus Smart, Dion Waiters, Cody Zeller, all part of that team. So congratulations to him. It'll be a good experience. Cavaliers, assuming, of course, that Dion Waiters is a part of this team when the roster is finally done being shuffled around. Cavs can do nothing but benefit from that, in my opinion. I'm not going nuts about, hey, look, we got a guy on the squad, as much as, man, he can really benefit from being around those players, playing against the Olympic team, and being coached, most importantly, by those people as well. So he heads out and starts work. As a matter of fact, I think they start at the end. Yeah, they start at the end of the month. The 28th of July is when the select team and the national team start practicing against each other. So Kyrie Irving and Dion Waiters, hey, everybody says they don't like each other. Well, they'll be heads up against each other there on opposite sides. But the fact that two of our young core is a part of that, I'm telling you guys, don't underestimate how great that can be for their development. Don't let anybody tell you, because people act like these athletes live in a static world. Every athlete is cut from a mold, and the way they come into the league is who they are. Because that's the way a lot of people act, a lot of media act. They act like there's no such thing as personal growth, human growth, improvement, nothing. You are cast like a die, and that's it. That's who you are from the day you're born until the day you're no longer here. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of a rough, square-edged way to look at the world. I'm guessing you can't make too many friends if you look at it that way, man. You're definitely not a popular person to be around, but I do believe that. I mean, nothing lives in a static bubble, and it's nothing but good to have two of our guys around some true top-level guys, and better than that, top-level coaching. I mean, you're talking about some of the best coaching, and look, 50, 60, 70 years, and more than that, 100 years of experience between those guys right there. So kudos, Dion Waiters on the national select team there. Something I got a kick out of here. I'm curious, too, because at first I thought it was the National Hall of Fame, but it's the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. I was actually just re-looking at this to make sure I said the story right during the break, and I'm like, there's a difference. So somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but apparently there's a Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, which is not the same as the Boxing Hall of Fame. But regardless, I get a kick. And you know what? It's funny. I love that commercial, by the way, where he brings him his ear back, where Tyson brings Holyfield his ear back. But Mike Tyson has been selected by the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame to induct Evander Holyfield when he goes in. And I was looking at this class, and I'm like, this is what made me notice that it was the Nevada Hall of Fame. Some of the names, I'm like, some of these guys are just going in. Holyfield, Sonny Liston, Jack Dempsey, Archie Moore, Joe Louis are among the names of those going in. Referee Richard Steele, some of the guys that are going in as well in the same class. But I don't know what the difference is. I'm not really sure. Oh, George Foreman and Roberto Duran as well. A pretty star-studded class here, but apparently there's a difference. So I thought the story was more interesting because I thought it was the Boxing Hall of Fame, but apparently Nevada has their own Hall of Fame. Either way, love story of Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield continues, man. I was joking with somebody. I saw that movie a couple months ago with Stallone and De Niro, where they were the old guys, the old fighters that decided to go out there and have one more fight, and I was telling some friends, those were the two real life boxers that I said, you could make a ton of money. You get Holyfield. I said, man, Holyfield and Tyson are funny enough in their kind of dry sense of humor that they can make fun of the fact that they're old guys finishing the score, you know? Holyfield could be out there with some ear guards on to make sure that he's safe. Tyson could have to fight with a mouthpiece in. You could make a spectacle out of it. Live on pay-per-view, baby. $59.95, $69.95 for HD. Let's do it. Somebody give me a call. Only in America we could do it. But I get a kick out of seeing that stuff. There it is. Yeah, the one in New York, the International Boxing Hall of Fame, which I assumed that there was one, but there's multiple halls of fame. Actually, funny that we bring that up. I just look over in my studio/museum here. I've got a pair of boxing gloves, those oversized boxing gloves that are autographed by, I'd say, 30% of the people in the New York Hall of Fame, the International Boxing Hall of Fame. And it's a shame because I don't know who half the signatures on here are. I mean, it's one of those things. It's just loaded with them, but you're not sure who they are. I mean, I can make a couple of them out, but people always go, man, who do you got on there? I go, a whole bunch of Hall of Famers. And if you happen to know what their signatures look like, let me know, because I wasn't there when they actually got signed. But so, yeah, there it is. That's the International Boxing Hall of Fame, not to be confused with the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. Something else, too. Oh, we're getting ready to wrap things up. We're up against it here, closing the show out. But I want to talk more about this, I think, tomorrow with Dan Wismar. But everybody, you know, all the sports leagues, the college leagues doing their media days here this week. And I'll tell you, you talk about, we say things like truth in media and advertising and all of that. There was some truth being spit by the Big 12 media day, that's for sure. Did you notice the stories coming out of there? Probably not, because it's a media day story, but the commissioner of the Big 12 came out and straight up said how cheating these days gets you everywhere in the NFL. And he wasn't the only one, by the way. Several of the coaches in the league all said the same thing. They said there's blatant examples out there. And, I mean, we've talked about this. And he brought up the fact, and we know this from here, going through the enforcement thing with Ohio State and the tattoos and the different investigations that went on with that. It's been over a year since the infractions committee has even held a hearing. He went on to say enforcement in the NCAA is broken. If you seek to conspire to bend the rules, you can do it successfully and not get caught in most occasions. This is the commissioner of the Big 12 coming out and saying he thinks things are only going to get worse for the NCAA. I agree. I mean, but I'll take it to the extreme and say I don't believe that the NCAA exists a few years from now. And he mentioned that too. Brought up the lawsuit that we've talked about, that they're getting ready to get hit with some big penalties here when O'Bannon and all of that wraps up. And we've already seen the beginning of the cracks of the NCAA. That thing's going to have to be blown up. But, I mean, it can't be good for your organization when one of your commissioners is out there saying, hey, the cheaters win, and that's all there is to it, and they're not even trying